A good Monday morning to you, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota Twin City Subaru and 802 Honda. They're all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Looking at the Mad River Valley this morning. With dry weather, that's soon to change. Let's take a look at some of the computer modeling and latest analysis. So we have a surface area of higher pressure over Nova Scotia headed eastbound. That's opening the door for more clouds to stream on in. And mostly virga, but some of that is reaching the ground as far east as Saranac Lake. A little bit of flurry action. There's a couple different little pieces of jet stream energy that have been working in. We're also developing an area of low pressure in the Delmarva region. You can see that basically off of Cape Hatteras. And this is going to be the case, and take a track of a low pressure system. It's going to come pretty close to Cape Cod, maybe right overhead, and then kind of make a right turn a little bit and head out to sea. This is going to provide us with a burst of moderate to heavy snow. It's going to come in probably spits and sputters for the first hour or so, spreading in from southwest to northeast this afternoon and affecting Bennington and Windham County, parts of Rutland County first. And then right after about the first hour, maybe 45 minutes, you're looking at the snowfall rates picking up considerably, with even greater than 1 inch amounts working in for the evening commute. So this kind of moves in a little sporadically, then really gets going. And it looks like most of the heavier snows are going to fall really from roughly between 6 o'clock and about 9 o'clock this evening. Thereafter, things begin to taper off from southwest to northeast, very much like they started. And this is a quick hitter, so it's going to be moving on out relatively quickly. It looks like just leftover flurries during the overnight period, and we'll be finishing up. I'm looking at probably somewhere between, approximately 5 and say 10 inches, maybe 8 inches in parts of southern Vermont, the southern four counties mostly, a little bit east of the areas of Rutland, mostly in Minden and points east. And then up in northern areas, we're looking at probably about a 3 to 7 inch amount of snowfall, 3 to 5, something like that. And little lessers across the northern tier, maybe 2 to 5. And so we'll be setting up what right now is looking like a little shot of snow for this late March storm. And it'll be melting out pretty quickly and unloading any kind of wet snow loading issues that might develop this evening into the overnight period. That'll take place relatively early or in the morning hours on Tuesday, as temperatures make another rise toward 40 degrees. Let's take a look at the computer modeling. So we'll start out with the NAM model first. So gets into Bennington County as early as about 20Z. Let's see, that's about 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon, and then it continues to overspread the state of Vermont. Now, the NAM model has upticked in the amount of total snowfall, and that's what we're looking at here. And so you can see that these purples here are generally in that sort of greater than 6 inch amounts, up in the higher terrain especially. And notably, it's really eastern Bennington into all of Windham, all of Windsor, and eastern parts of Rutland County. And you can kind of see the differentiation there. And then about 4 inches locally as much in the southern part of the Champlain Valley, far less in the northern and northern tier regions and far western Vermont. And you can see that's basically how the snowfall. Now notice the amounts here. Hey, 11 inches indicated in parts of Orange County, and you can take that to the bank if you believe the NAM model. You're looking at somewhere between 10 and 12 inches potentially. I think this is running just a little bit too high. And looking at the HRRR model, this gets into the southwestern corner of Vermont again, roughly about 4 o'clock. This is valid at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be 11 o'clock this evening. That's midnight. 1, 2. We'll take you through 1 o'clock in the morning. And you can see by that point, the HRRR model is really a lot less bullish on the snowfall amounts here. Let's take a look at the European. And looking at the European model, this is valid 17Z. This is going to be noontime. That would be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That is 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're only just getting into some parts of north central Vermont at that point in time. Starting to see just about over an inch. Now, after between 5, 6 o'clock, things are starting to go hot and heavy, kind of a heavier burst spreading across northern Vermont per the European model only. So you can see that these mounts have really come up have taken a little bit off in southern parts of Vermont and shifted a little bit further to the north. This is the 06Z model right here. This is the overnight model 0Z. So you can compare the two, and you can see where the hot spots are now showing up, basically north central Vermont. I'm not sure I believe this. I think it's going to be a little bit more situated in southern Vermont, so I'm kind of throwing out what I'm seeing via the European model, but something we'll have to keep close in mind. Greater than 6-inch amounts. This is 10-to-1 snow-to-water ratios. The deal is this, though. It looks like this will be a drier snowfall in the northern half of Vermont, wetter in the southern half of Vermont, and that also is in play. Also, elevation will have somewhat of a play, at least at the start. And seeing that we get a burst of heavier snows that come in basically in the evening hours, elevation will probably be in play with the higher tops of our Green Mountains seeing the most snowfall and having a little more trouble beginning to stick as temperatures make a fall. I think as soon as it starts snowing due to the isothermal nature and the wet dry bulb kind of setup, those temperatures will make a pretty drastic fall after about a half an hour of snowfall when it starts to coming in there. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, this kind of a setup here with a quick heavy burst, and then it pushes on out, and it's pretty much over with by around 2, 3 in the morning. Another look, we're looking at the 1 hour total snowfall here, again from the European model. So we're talking 16Z. It implies a little bit of flurry activity, nothing major there. And then after that, that first little bit of flurries kind of dries up. This is valid at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. This is 4, 5, 6, 7. Now notice some pretty good surges of moisture here. Snowfall rates greater than 1.5 inches cutting across Chittenden County. And this is part and parcel why the models are not really settled down on this. So it kind of gives you an idea. Now, just looking at the 12Z model run, you can see far different issues here. And just European is typically model run to model run is very consistent, but it's still having a little bit of trouble. That tells me that things are still in the process of shifting just a little bit. This one's a little bit more of a shaky confidence forecast. Still, I think the wettest snowfalls are going to be to the south, slightly drier, and not much of a problem further up to the north. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.